Hello, and today we're going to have a look at a Nintendo Donkey Kong PCB, which has got a number of little issues going on it. So first things, this has actually developed a secondary fault over a short period of time, where it's now doubling up on the text that's going on. And if you can see up here, there's like a block floating backwards and forwards. Well, one of the problems with this was that the sprites were not appearing in the correct place. Now, as you can see, the playfield seems to be sort of rendering but doubling up. That usually it's something to do with a vertical count of that. So what we're going to do is going to have a probe around all the little things that count up. I've got this part of the schematic. I'm looking at the H clocks first and see what happens. I'm going to guess that the H's are going to be okay because that the H's control the synchronization pins, if I can remember correctly. And it'll be more likely the vertical counters. Now, even though it's actually on its complete side, this, whereas vertical's actually that way and horizontal's that way, I'm not. Is it going to be that? Is it going to? One of them's going to be stuck somewhere. Something's forcing it to double up as it tries to draw. All right, so I'm going to start by having a quick poke around the clock circuits and see what's occurring there. But yeah, it's repeating itself as it's trying to draw the playfield onto the screen, and probably the graphics well, because I did have Kong before at least on the screen. Okay, so I've done some progress on this and had a look around these horizontal clock signals. Still got exactly the same problem on the screen, and I've confirmed that those H clocks are positions basically up the left hand side of the screen, or if you turn the camera like that, basically as the monitor would be normally, this being where the top of the screen is, that means the horizontal position. Drawing is backwards in a vertical based game. So I've confirmed that each one of the signals coming out of here, half, 1, 2, 4, 8, 16, 32, 64, 128, 256, these are all correct signals. I've also double checked as well with checking the schematic, going a little bit more that way, that these also provide the horizontal sync pulse as well for the video output. If they weren't working correctly, the screen over here would be absolutely skewed. There would be no synchronization to the picture whatsoever. So we know that these are definitely driving things correctly. My hunch is that it's something to do with these H signals that's causing this double up effect over here. So something can't be quite right. So I followed those signals along to this block here. This is the next piece of logic in line. Okay, they go down a little bit, but you know, we'll start on the same plane here and then work our way around there, and you know, you sort of work your way out from where you think the problem is. And this is 1P and 1R. These are LS367s, and these are a hex buffer with non-inverted 3-state outputs according to this list here. 367 hex buffer with non-inverted 3-state outputs. Basically that means whatever goes in on this side is what you get on that side as well, but it can be high, low or floating somewhere. Okay, I think I've got the description right there, and there's no direction pin for it, they only go one way. So your input's on one side at say pin 6, and output is at pin 7 in this particular case. Pin 4, pin 5, etc, etc. So I've worked my way down all these pins here, and there's a couple of them I've got interest. And what I'm going to show you on the I'm going to pan across the scope now. Straight away you'll see the problem. So that is the outputs, input and output. Top line is the input and the bottom line is the output of pins 11 and 12 on the R chip here. Because you got, excuse me, one R at the top, one P at the bottom. So this is the P chip. So the R chip is up here, and then the P chip's down here. So I worked my way down the inputs and outputs and found that 11 and 12. So your 12 is your input, and your 11 is your output. Well, straight away, if that's your input, what I should see is basically that, but either, you know, a nice strong signal exactly like that. There's nothing going on. I mean, even if I slightly amplify the total volts per division on that one, there's hardly anything. So it's staying high permanently. So as it's counting, it's like, you know, you're always getting which signal is that as well? That is 32H. So you're always going to get added 32 to it. So everything's going to be completely out of whack. That must have been failing for some time by the look of it. So obviously I've got the scopes plugged onto it there. The next step I'm going to try is piggybacking a spare 367 chip on top of that. So I'm going to cut and take the probe clips off there, which I've set up to actually demonstrate what's going on, because I was comparing it just by pointing the scope probe at it, and we'll see what happens. We'll piggyback a chip onto it. I'm pretty convinced that I'll at least make progress with this. So if I piggyback a chip in and see what happens next, but something should change at this point, because the two chips will fight it out. Alright, we're back in a sec. Okay, I have piggybacked a 367 on top of that, the scope's disconnected, and if you look over here, ta-da, the game's working. And interestingly, the sprite issue that was originally on this board has also gone away, so those must have all, which would kind of make sense. Now, I don't know if you can tell on the screen, but it almost looks very slightly like some of this is slightly squashed, and that's probably going to be that pin 11 and 12 fighting it out with each other. So I'm going to switch the board off now, take it off this plate, and I'm going to desolder that 367 from there, pull it out the board, stick a socket in and stick a 367 into it. And I'm kind of thinking that I may change the one next to it as well. If one's going, there's a good chance the other's possibly going to pop as well, but no, you know what, if it's working now, I'm going to leave it alone. That's probably not a bad rule. If it, it's only going to take 10 minutes or so to change the chip. Okay, right, let's change the chip out. There you go, I've removed the chip from the board. Here it is in the chip tester. I've selected LS367, I'll press enter, and fault. Yeah, the chip tester never lies. Right, let's pop a socket in there and a new chip. New LS367 installed in a socket on the PCB. And ta-da! Another one lives. Right, well, I'm going to give it a bit of play test and everything and see if that's all okay. In fact, we'll just do a quick coin up. Don't appear to have any sound. That could be for any number of reasons. I'll investigate the sound side of it. Could be the adapter I've got there on the board. But so far so good. Oh, I can hear sound just about. Yeah, I think basically the adapter I'm using has got the sound turned down in it. Well, I'll tell you what, we'll just assemble the board back, because I've still got it just balanced on the clips and things over here, so we'll assemble the board back together properly, flip it over, and I'll just adjust the pots and see if I've definitely got sound. The board is now reassembled, and I was absolutely right, it was the volume pot. There we go, that's a nice healthy sound as we boot it up. Let's do that. I'm going to be crap playing at this one-handed. But my aim is going to be, in a minute, under test, to get through a couple of levels of it. Well, some sounds seem to be a bit louder than others. Not quite sure about that, but we'll look into that. could be just this amp, or some pot or something I haven't spotted on the board. Anyway, I think that's going to be it for that repair. Well, thanks for watching. Hope you've enjoyed everything on this, and I'll see you all in the next video. If you enjoyed this and you like to see more of this, please hit the old subscribe button, which is going to be, if I've got it right, it's going to be somewhere up that corner of the screen. Don't forget to give it the old thumbs up as well, and if you want to ask a question, ask in the comments below, or go to the website and send us an email. Till the next one, bye.